You're walking through the grocery store whispering the list under your breath, or you're alone in your car narrating your own frustration with traffic. Maybe you catch yourself mid-sentence in your empty apartment and freeze, hoping no one heard, even though you live alone. You've learned to keep that voice quiet, to feel a little embarrassed every time it slips out. Like talking to yourself is something only weird people do, like it's a sign you're lonely, or scattered, or losing it. You've probably been told to stop since you were a kid. Teachers shushing you, parents reminding you to use your inside voice, friends teasing you for muttering. So you learn to hide it, to save the running commentary for when no one's around. And even then, you feel a flash of shame when you catch yourself doing it. What if that voice you've been hiding is actually one of the clearest signs your brain is working at its highest level? You've been carrying this embarrassment for years. Every time you catch yourself mid-sentence, you feel a flash of shame, like you've been caught doing something wrong. But here's what no one told you: that running commentary isn't a glitch, it's a feature. When you talk to yourself, you're not slipping into some childish habit or showing signs of isolation. You're doing something your brain is specifically designed to do. Think about it like this: when you're trying to focus on something hard, a name you're trying to remember, a problem you're working through, you'll often say it out loud. Not because you've forgotten how to think silently, because saying it out loud turns up the volume. It gives your brain a second way to hold on to the information. You're not just thinking the thought, you're hearing it. That's 2 channels instead of 1. And your brain loves that. In the 1930s, a psychologist named Lev Vygotsky called this private speech. He watched young children narrate everything they did, stacking blocks, drawing pictures, solving puzzles, and realized they weren't talking to anyone else. They were talking to themselves. And it helped them think. As we grow up, that voice doesn't disappear, it just moves inward. But when the task gets hard enough, when we need that extra clarity, it comes back out. You haven't regressed. You haven't failed to grow up. You've just turned the volume back up when you needed it most. When you say something out loud, even just to yourself, your brain gets to process it twice. Once when you form the words, once when you hear them. It's like giving your brain a second channel to hold on to information. And that second channel makes a real difference. In 2012, researchers at Bangor University ran a study. They asked people to find objects in a cluttered room. Half the participants searched silently. The other half said the object's name out loud while they looked. The people who spoke found the objects faster, not because they were smarter, because they gave their brains 2 ways to recognize what they were looking for: the visual memory and the verbal label working together. This is called verbal rehearsal. And it doesn't just help you find your keys, it helps you solve problems. When you narrate what you're doing, you're forcing yourself to put the problem into words. And that act, turning a vague feeling or a tangled thought into a sentence, makes the problem clearer. Marcus is a software engineer. He's 34. For years, he worked in silence, afraid his co-workers would think he was strange if they heard him muttering through his code. But mistakes piled up. He felt slow compared to his team. Then he started narrating his logic out loud when he was alone, walking through each line, asking himself questions, catching errors the moment he heard himself describe them. His debugging time dropped by nearly half. And eventually, he realized something. The co-workers who seemed the fastest were the ones muttering under their breath too. Here's where it gets even better. Talking to yourself doesn't just help you think more clearly, it helps you feel more clearly too. When you talk to yourself in the third person, using your own name, or even just you instead of I, something shifts. Instead of "I can't handle this," you say "you can handle this." Or Marcus, you've done harder things than this before. It sounds small, but that tiny shift creates distance. You're no longer tangled up inside the emotion. You're observing it, naming it, and that distance gives you control. Researchers call this self-distancing. And study after study shows it reduces anxiety, improves decision-making, and helps you regulate your emotions faster. You're not suppressing the feeling, you're stepping back far enough to see it clearly. This is metacognition, your brain watching itself think, and it's one of the most sophisticated things your nervous system can do. For most of human history, teachers punished this. Kids who muttered to themselves in class were told to be quiet, to focus, to stop being disruptive. Not because it hurt their learning, because it looked strange, because adults didn't understand that the kid narrating the math problem out loud was actually solving it faster than the silent kid next to him. You weren't doing anything wrong. You were doing something powerful. And every time you hid that voice, you were hiding one of the clearest signs of intelligence your brain can show. The voice isn't a problem, it's proof. Proof that your brain is awake, aware, and working exactly the way it's supposed to. So the next time you're alone in your apartment mid-sentence and freeze, don't. That voice isn't something to hide. It's your brain at its most awake. It's you giving yourself a second channel to think, to solve, to feel. It's verbal rehearsal, it's self-distancing, it's metacognition. It's private speech that never really went private because you're still doing hard things that deserve to be said out loud. The people who made you feel weird for it didn't understand what they were looking at. They saw something strange. But what they were actually seeing was intelligence in motion. You're not broken. You're not lonely. You're not regressing into childhood or slipping into anything you should be worried about. You're thinking at a level most people never reach. And the voice you've been embarrassed by? It's one of the most sophisticated tools your brain owns. Let yourself be heard, even if the only person listening is you.